Prosper and Celina are right next to each other on the map. But when it comes to home prices, taxes, and lifestyle, the gap could not be farther apart. Today, I am breaking down the numbers that really matter before you move, so that you do not end up making a mistake that will cost you tens of thousands of dollars. Let's get started. I'm Emily Horrendous, Dallas area realtor, and my husband Tim and I have been helping people just like you buy and sell homes in the Metroplex since 2015. Feel free to subscribe to our channel, and if you'd like us to help you find a home here in Dallas, give us a call, text, or email. When people start comparing Prosper and Celina, the first thing they focus on is the price. That is understandable, but there is a tendency to oversimplify things and to overlook details that will have a major impact on your long-term budget. Let's break it down. As of 2025, the median list price for a home here in Prosper is $950,000. With that price point, you're likely looking at a home with 3,700 square feet on a quarter-acre lot that was built sometime in the last 5 years. You may be able to get something newer in headline communities like Windsong Ranch, where I'm standing right now, or to go with a slightly older home from the 2000s in other parts of town. Now, this is your median price. Check out how listings in Prospers tend to be spread out in other price points. In Celina, the median price sits in the 600,000s, which is a meaningful difference when you start comparing finishes, square footage, and overall value. But this is where things get tricky. Unlike Prosper, where prices seem to be fairly even across all neighborhoods, Celina has much wider price variations, depending on community and location. The median list price of $600,000 might get you a 2,200 square foot home in a premium community like Mustang Lake, or a much larger 3,600 square foot home in a neighborhood that's just a few miles north. And while Celina definitely offers more options in the 400,000 to 700,000 range, you're also going to see a bigger gap in home size, quality, and community amenities. In other words, when you're buying in Celina, your choice of community will play a much larger role in home value. Now that we've looked at home prices, let's talk about something that most buyers overlook, and what it actually costs to own the home after you buy it. Here's the reality. 2 homes, same price, come with very different monthly payments. That is largely due to property taxes, HOA fees, and special district taxes, like MUDs and PIDs, that both Prosper and Celina stretch across the Collin and Denton County line. Denton County generally has some of the lowest property taxes in the Dallas area, so homes that lie in Denton County will have a lower tax burden than those who lie in Collin County. Most communities in Prosper and Celina have an HOA, and single-family homes range from $50 to $200 a month, depending on your level of amenities. Just so you know, condos and townhomes will range in the $200 to $400 per month HOA fee. Now here's where things really start to shift. Many of the master plan communities in Celina will fall within special taxing districts like MUDs and PIDs. These districts help fund community infrastructure and can add several $100s per month to your property tax bill. Prosper, on the other hand, has very few communities with a MUD or a PID, which helps keep ownership costs more predictable in many areas. Take a look at how different tax rates and district fees can impact your monthly payment. Maybe the difference doesn't feel significant month to month, but over the course of the year, 2 years, 5 years, it adds up. Now, it is important to recognize that most people buy a home based on how the community feels. Maybe you like the design, vibe, and amenities in a PID community, and that is a perfectly valid reason to buy there. But you do need to compare things apples to apples, and it's critical to understand how these numbers stack up before you make a decision. Now, let's talk about schools, because for a lot of families that are moving here, school districts is one of the biggest drivers for where they choose to live. Both Prosper and Celina are known for strong school systems, but they are in very different stages of growth. Prosper ISD has earned a reputation across North Texas for academic performance, athletic programs, and the overall quality of its campuses. It is a larger, more established district with multiple high schools, including Prosper High School, Rock Hill, Wanna Grove, and the new Richland High School, which is opening this fall. With that growth has come consistent investment in new facilities, stadiums, fine art centers, and career and tech programs. Families who want that established feel and access to competitive programs often lean toward Prosper ISD. Celina ISD, on the other hand, is smaller and still developing, but it is growing so fast. The district is building new schools and preparing for a wave of future enrollment as more master plan communities are coming. It's already considered a strong district by many standards, and a lot of parents like the small town feel of a single high school system. Because of how the boundaries are drawn, there are several neighborhoods in Celina that are zoned to Prosper ISD, which means you can live in Celina, benefit from slightly lower home prices, and still be in one of the most sought after school districts in the whole state of Texas. So what does this mean for long-term value? In general, homes in Prosper ISD tend to hold their value better, simply because the demand for that school district is high. That doesn't mean that homes in Celina ISD are a poor investment. As the area continues to grow and new schools are built, the gap between the two districts is expected to narrow, and that can mean stronger appreciation in Celina over the next decade. At the end of the day, this comes down to what matters most to your family. Do you want the established feel of Prosper ISD, or are you more comfortable getting in early in Celina? By now, we've covered the numbers, home prices, taxes, and schools, but let's be honest. Most people don't choose a home or a place to live just based on data. They choose based on how a place feels. So what's the lifestyle difference between Prosper and Celina? Prosper has been developing for years and has a more established suburban feel. You'll find well-known master plan communities like Windsong Ranch, Star Trail, Lakes of Prosper, with well-maintained streets, mature landscaping, and full amenity packages. It is not unusual to see golf carts cruising around the neighborhood or families hanging out at a community pool or playgrounds after school. Retail and dining are also more built out in Prosper. You're closer to places like the Gates of Prosper, PGA Frisco, and you have easier access to shopping, medical facilities, and entertainment without needing to drive far. The town has attracted a mix of executive-level professionals and move-up buyers who are looking for something polished and turnkey. Celina has some small-town charm, especially near its historic downtown, which is known for its community events like Friday night markets and Cajun Fest. At the same time, it's growing rapidly, and new master plan communities are popping up. Places like Mustang Lakes, Light Farm, the parks at Wilson Creek, Mosaic, and Cambridge Crossing are among the most popular. The retail infrastructure in Celina is still catching up, but that is starting to change quickly. As of now, most residents in Celina still drive into Prosper for major shopping and entertainment. But with the city's growth trajectory, more is on the way. One of the biggest differences comes down to density and pace. Prosper feels more polished, but more built out. Celina feels more open with more land and a slightly slower pace. But with that comes more construction and infrastructure development still in progress. Commutes are worth mentioning. Both come with relatively easy access to Frisco and Plano, especially once the tollway expansion is fully developed. Celina might feel a little farther out right now, but as the road systems improve, that gap is closing. So which one fits your lifestyle better? If you would like to have a conversation about which one of these would be a better fit for you, feel free to reach out, give us a call, text, or email. We'll see you next time.